it's getting scary for the hunters. They are now becoming the hunted. You're welcome to the Putback Show. My name is Slimo. Of course, I'm here with Teddy for another deep discussion. You know, every single time I make my intro, I'm referring to something. There's an animal who usually hunts, the wolves, and I'm referring to the Timberwolves. Now they are being hunted. Down already 3-0 in the series of the Dallas Mavericks, and it has got everybody shocked. Teddy, were you expecting this?
No. If coming into this series, the favorite obviously was the Timberwolves because of the kind of defense we saw them playing against the Nuggets. Because that was one of the best defense we've ever seen in a long time. And everyone was praising the Wolves. We were like, okay, we've not seen this before. Getting into this series, we felt like they had the upper hand because matchup wise, they were the better team. Defense, they were the better team. Offense too, because they put more pressure on the rim. We were like, okay, maybe Lively and Gafford won't be able to match them. But it's not what we are seeing now, and this is basketball. This is the playoffs. These are the things that happen. Upsets happen, and I don't think there's no coming back from this.
And the reality that hits them is, from my side of things, you can look at it as like the media has set Anthony Edwards up.
Plenty.
The pressure is just too much.
Plenty.
Calling him the face of the NBA.
Plenty.
This is his first ever deep postseason run. At this point, some people are even considering it to be fatigue because he's not gone as far as this before.
They just
And you
needed
set
2
him-
wins. He just needed 2 wins.
And they've set him up so bad. Maybe the pressure is getting to him a bit. In fact, in game 1, you could see him panting, catching for his
gassed out.
breath. I mean, game 3 was okay, but it hasn't been the best of Anthony Edwards. And the Timberwolves are just struggling all over.
And I feel like this is like a young superstar and a young playmaker who is finding his feet in the playoffs because it takes reps, it takes time, it takes for you to be here to experience.
It takes failure. It takes
yes,
mistakes.
it takes mistakes for you to know what to do in this situation, what to do, what not to do. So I feel like he's now in that phase and he's not ready. And Karl-Anthony Towns is not yet 30. Rudy is not yet 30. If he is, you people can correct me in the comment section. But he's not ready. And this is why they are not really, because there are some of the plays where he should be shooting, but he's not shooting. Why? Because he's now experiencing this as a star, as the one leading the team. So this is what the Timberwolves have. This is the downside of having a young star. He doesn't have more reps in the playoffs, and this is his time to fail, and he's failing now, and he has to learn from it. He has to accept and learn from it. So that's the downside for them.
My biggest concern is Karl-Anthony Towns, like you mentioned earlier. The drop-off has been crazy. In his last 3 games, their numbers are looking horrible. In fact, in game 3, he attempted 8 3-pointers, didn't even make a single one. Oh, come on. For someone who's self-acclaimed the greatest big man shooter ever, oh, come on. It's just causing too much problems for them. And he's supposed to be taking advantage of the mismatches. There's PJ Washington on him, and we are seeing Karl-Anthony Towns not being able to take advantage of the mismatches. In fact, in game 3, Derek Lively went down very early. And at some point, Gafford was not on the floor. I was expecting Karl-Anthony Towns to be using his advantage. He used the advantage like 1 or 2 possessions, and that was it. We are not seeing him shoot the ball well. He's not getting to the rack. I don't know if Chris Finch and his technical team are not setting the place enough well for him to be doing that. But I'm heavily disappointed in Karl-Anthony Towns. And it's making, at times, Rudy Gobert become unplayable. Because Rudy cannot space the floor. It is a must that Karl-Anthony Towns must be able to knock down the threes. Because if he's not shooting well, then the Timberwolves, the Mavericks can sag off him, and it will make things difficult for the Timberwolves in the long run, and it's just causing too many problems for the Timberwolves. Now you've also got the headache of having to guard Luka and Kyrie, like possibly the biggest headache in the playoffs. You've got Luka, who when he has a lob threat, it looks like there's nobody touching him. If you double team him, he's giving it to another trusted ball handler. At least if you're double teaming him and you were giving it to someone who was shaky, they had a chance. But yes, Kyrie, who's just so comfortable in that role. If you don't double team and you can play good one-on-one defense, you take it to the rack, fake as if he's going to shoot, and there's the lob. They've had, I think, 49 lobs already in the playoffs. It's just too much.
The most. And another stat here. Karl-Anthony Towns in the last 5 games has shot 4 of 32.
Oh, come on.
4 of 32, which is...
Is that from the field or from the 3-point line?
From the field. The last game they played, game 3, they made 9 out of 33s, which is too much. You see the problem Minnesota is doing now. Shooting a whole lot of threes is not your game. You shoot threes, you make threes, but it is not your game. Your game is to put pressure on the rim, get to the rim, because your playmaker is not normally shooting threes. Go to the rim, put pressure on the rim. Rudy Gobert is doing it. Nash Reed is doing it. I have Towns. You have Anderson doing it. You have most of your guys in the paint trying to put pressure on the rim. That is your style. Maybe once you get there and you collapse or you cause traffic, you meet traffic, you kick it out and then you make it. But now the Mavericks have forced them to become shooters, which they are not. Everyone is trying to shoot the ball. Everyone is trying to shoot the ball, and they hold them off till the clock is 0.1, 1 minute, 2 minutes.
We saw that in game 3 a lot.
And
Every time the shot clock was expiring,
you are forced to make bad decisions, and that led them to losing the game too. Because now Anthony Edwards had the ball, time was going. He had to pass to someone. Karl-Anthony Towns had left his position, and then
you give
over
away
10.
10 over.
That's when the calm downs with me happened, and then they won the game. So they hold them off because they are settling for threes. Please shoot more threes, but don't come to the rim. We will die with that. If you don't make it, you don't make it. Or we know you can't make a lot of them.
Speaking of 3-point shooting, of course, we look at their best 3-point shooter, who was supposed to be Karl-Anthony Towns, but now it's Naz Reid. If it wasn't for Naz Reid, I think most of all of the games would have been a blown out. Because remember in game 2, he shot what? He was like 7 of 8 from 3. He was very unlucky with that last shot. So, and I think Jaden McDaniels was also good from 3 in game 3.
Yesterday.
Anthony Edwards wasn't bad. Mike Conley wasn't bad. But it's just been difficult to watch them so far. But I want to credit the Dallas role players. Like, the whole of the playoffs, they have been very, very good. I don't know what is wrong with PJ Washington when he sees the fourth quarter. He locks in, and when there's an open shot, my God, this guy will bury it. He will bury it. I made a tweet, I think a day ago, when the game happened. I was like, you guys have to be honest. Did you see the Dallas Mavericks as the best team from the West?
We had them as dark horses, even after the trade.
Look, after the trade, we knew the pieces were good. Were good, but to be honest, I had them like the fourth best. Because I still had Denver over them. I did have Minnesota over them. I did have my Clippers healthy over them. So at least at bare minimum fourth. At bare minimum fourth. But to do this, I think they've overachieved. They've overachieved. And I mean, Kyrie Irving. Like, we're speaking of his leadership, what he wasn't able to do in Boston. Because maybe it was overwhelming a bit. What happened in Brooklyn. And now he just looks so settled. Like, even listening to Luka talk to him, he's Mr. Fourth Quarter, so we just give him the ball. The confidence is now there from those guys to be able to play well and just make things happen for the Mavs.
And I'm so glad he now in this series he didn't wait for fourth quarter off the bat. He was just
first quarter, first minute.
And I think I listened to Stephen A. and Stephen A. said he's going to blame Anthony Edwards for Kyrie going off. Right,
because he poked him.
Because he said he wants to guard him.
And Kyrie did say he gave him some.
He gives him full. So, and there are certain players where you can blitz or you can trap them and then it will be successful. Certain players, and there are certain players where it won't work.
Yeah, it will definitely.
Someone like Luka, and I'll throw LeBron James in.
Yes. It's not working on LeBron.
It's not working on them.
It's not working on Nikola Jokic, LeBron James. You've got a Kyrie Irving because he can also navigate that very well. I didn't even throw a James Harden in there because they navigate like those good ball handlers, high IQ players. Even Tyrese Haliburton at a point can make good reads out of those situations. But the reason for Tyrese Haliburton is he doesn't have that great supporting cast around him to be able to make that good decision. And then they will make you pay. But for someone like Luka, the team is well constructed.
There are certain guys, you can't trap them. And once you do that, the ball leaves their hands. They are able to find players under pressure. And that is Luka. So you can trap, you can blitz, get the ball out of his hand, but he's making the right decision. He's making the right decision. And shout out to Derek Lively. I never knew. We knew he was a good. He was good for the alley hoop. For the alley hoops, he's good on defense, but we didn't know he was a good playmaker. This playoffs has made.
He's making the right reads.
And I think I tweeted and I called him a young Chandler, Tyson Chandler, because that's who he is with the playmaking skills. So now the pick and roll is set. They blitz Luka Doncic. He rolls. and then Luka gives the ball to him, and he's making the right decision. He's not forced to get to the rim and score. If he sometimes he's faking, passing to another player, and it's always an open look shot, and then you are making them. This is the kind of big you have. And I think yesterday when he went out, it was really bad for them in a sense because now
in some stretches.
in some stretches. So now because Gafford doesn't do that. When Gafford gets that, he's going straight to the rim. But Derek Lively is finding the right man, and I don't know if it's playing with Doncic that causes that, but if Gafford is not doing this, then I don't think it's he's just that he's just been that good. He's one of the best playmaking bigs, which makes blitzing Luka very difficult because now when he leaves his hands and it's in the hands of Derek Lively, he's making the best decisions, and it's been amazing.
Shout out to Derek Lively, who's had a tough time going into the playoffs with him losing his mom and everything. But that's the Dallas Mavericks, the impressive Dallas Mavericks, who are up 3-0 on the Timberwolves. Right now, at this point, we have to start thinking of the finals already.
Yeah.
Possibly a Celtics versus Dallas.
And I think I have a question for you. So when the media started flipping this and Tatum versus Ant comparison, what do you have to say about that one?
Look,
was it right?
I feel it was wrong, but that is the world we live in now. Recency bias, because Tatum has done it so many times, and we are like, I wouldn't say we are tired of seeing it. But Anton is new to us. We just saw it. It's eye-catching. It's flashy. He's playing on both sides of the floor. But Tatum, come on. When he went to the Eastern Conference Finals,
he dunked on LeBron, for God's sake.
He's been there, done that. Right now, Tatum understands that it is all about winning, and I'm expecting him to do it this year. So I think it was unwarranted. He's not yet ready for that JT conversation. He's probably in that same bracket as the Jaylen Browns, the Tyrese Halliburtons, and all that new crop. But for Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, you can throw him in there. Even for Shea, you could also say it's premature a bit, even though these last 2 seasons has been excellent. I mean, MVP candidates, last 2 seasons, I think one of the top scorers in the league as well. You could also put him in that conversation. But has he also had a deep playoff run like JT has had? No. He hasn't had. Look at Luka Doncic, first team All NBA. I mean, it's crazy. And he has done that 5 times, and he's only played the league 6 times, like 6 years. That's how crazy. Those are the people that you can put in the conversation and be comfortable. That's who Jason Tatum is. That's one another statistic. Jason Tatum among active players is like what, the 9th with the most points in the playoffs, and he's only played like a few seasons. That's how great he's been, and I think that's why Jason Tatum and Ant-Man shouldn't be put in the same bracket right now.
And I have one last point I need to put out. Why has Rudy Gobert been targeted on defense, but then when he gets to the other side, they are not targeting Kyrie and Luka Doncic on defense? Because these guys are clearly the weak people on defense. But shout out to Jason Kidd, because he has shown us he can be one of the best defensive coaches. Because now he's hiding Luka. If Luka is on the floor, Luka is not a point of attack defender. He's hiding him as the low tag man, and all he's doing is either try to steal the ball, wall up, or try to just draw the charge. Just draw the charge or something. Just do something on defense. Just do, because before the ball comes to you, we are protecting you. It's not a zone, but you are being protected. You're just the low tag man. Be down there and just draw the charge, just do something. So he did well, because once you put Luka as the point of attack defender, you are in trouble. And that's what I think Bucks have been having problems with till I think maybe Beverly came in. It feels like they've solved that.
Was okay a bit. But yeah, that's how things are going in the NBA playoffs, Western Conference Finals. Dallas Mavericks up 3-0 on the Minnesota Timberwolves, and it looks like they are already having one foot in the NBA Finals. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Was the Ant and Jason Tatum comparisons warranted? Is Luka Doncic now confidently the best player in the league? Is it time for the Boston Celtics to be crowned champions? All these questions and more, we'll be answering them in a lot more of our next episodes, of course, on the Putback Show. My name is Sly Moore. I did this with Teddy, and you'll be seeing us and hearing from us every single time on the NBA playoffs. Stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? This is the place to be. The Putback Show. We'll catch you some other time.